lounging, son.
All right, welcome back to the Comic Lounge. My name's Ryan,
And I'm Manny.
and we're here to talk about another one of our favorite books that came out this week, Salmon Twitch Case Files #1 by Todd McFarlane and Szymon Kudranski. I'm very excited about this. I love the characters of Salmon Twitch, so I
Same.
was excited to see that they were making a return back to a monthly comic book. But before we get into it, just want to remind everybody, if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below and check out some of the other dope content on the channel, including a pretty recent interview with Todd McFarlane, where he kind of briefly mentions why he decided to bring this title back into the world. So go check that out, hit that subscribe button, and now let's jump into Salmon Twitch Case Files #1. Love this cover, dude.
I love the art in general.
Oh, it's fantastic. And Szymon Kudranski used to draw Spawn for a while, if I remember correctly. Like
he was doing a lot of the covers for a while too.
Yeah. So I like that it's branded with this new U, because there's going to be some other titles coming out that haven't, I think some that have been announced, some that haven't. I think there's like this book called Rat City, which is set in the future. I think there's a book that Liam Sharp is illustrating that he's been sharing online, which
the Dark Ages. Yeah, it's like so. Set in the past. Dude, it looks amazing.
Oh my God, it looks so sick.
Yeah.
We're here to talk about this. So I absolutely love how much this feels like a movie when you're reading it.
Dude. Very good point.
I love also the fact that I'll bury it. I'll say it now. There's no Spawn in here.
No,
so this is a straight like crime book, and I think it's interesting that he's doing like subgenres within his world, and I think it's a smart way to kind of let people scratch, or for him to scratch that itch and do different genres under the Spawn umbrella. So we get this fucking dude, he's just running through. I love the reflection of the moonlight and the trees in the water. Like, you don't realize it until that foot hits well, I mean, obviously you can see it on here, but I'm saying, like, you see that, and then you see the splash, and then the ripples in the water.
It's very cinematic, like you said, man. This, it almost feels like a David Fincher movie or something,
that is a good fucking description. Yes, it does feel like a Fincher. The one thing I thought was odd, and you see it here first, is the way the dialogue is. There's no word balloons.
And you know what? It was off-putting to me for a couple of pages, but honestly, eventually I just got used to it, and it became, I mean, it's nice. And I think maybe the idea is so it doesn't, obstruct the art at all.
I was thinking it was part of the fact that this is called Case Files, and maybe this is like, what it would look like on the page, like if it was like from a typewriter.
That's thematically that's actually a good point too. It's a very meta way to look at it. You might be right about that. I wouldn't have thought of that. Good point.
Yeah, and then he comes down into this fucking basement, and he's immediately like, like breathing all hard. He's like, "Did you follow the plan?" He's like, "Yeah." Then why were you running? And you could just feel the fucking anger in this. And boom! Oh my God,
dude! I love this page with the shell casing falling. Like, talk about cinematic, man. You almost see like that shot happening, and then the shell casing maybe falling in like slow motion. Like
the way the fucking blood splatter from the back of the head in the front. Holy shit, that looks dope. I hate saying it looks cool to watch somebody getting murdered, but that is like such a striking image right there, dude.
Yeah.
And then we jump back into the city, and we're like, he's like, should have heard the big pussy whining and shit. Now used to getting a smell, like, just like I've met people, not
we all know these guys.
But I've heard.
I love that we're seeing them in the reflection of the rear view mirror too. I mean, like, this is a really cinematic book with like very interesting angles, very interesting, like, a lot of reflection. You mentioned the reflection of the moon on the first page.
Yeah.
Now we're getting another reflection. Like, you don't often see comics like using these kind of like techniques, man, and it's great.
Yeah, and you don't know who's watching him. You just see this hand coming out of the window with this ring, and then you're gonna see who it is as we flip the page, and it's fucking Sam, dude. I love how he just walks up, and he's just fucking like, his hand is just like, it looks so like fucking stubby and short and just like fucking meaty, and he fucking
but so powerful too, like.
And then his friend's like, I think somebody wants to talk with you. I know, but he can go fuck himself. and boom, just cracks his head against the fucking table, dude. And then you realize now that this dude's one of his snitches.
Yeah, he's one of his CIs, criminal informants.
Yeah. I love this, how he's like telling him how it's gonna be. He's like, we had a thing. You're going to point out some scumbags I've been hunting, but that didn't happen, did it? I love, again, the way that the panels are, the way they close in on the mouth. You see the blood dripping down his face, goes to Sam's eye, then it goes back here. I love this. Here,
Yeah,
clean
man.
yourself up.
Sam's like a fucking tough cop. But
Yeah.
there's a line that comes up soon that also shows you he does have a heart because he mentions he sort of promised his kid's mom that he would watch out for him too.
Yeah. I promised your mom I'd do that much to my regret,
Yeah.
I love this. He's like, but what you don't get to do is fuck my life at the same time. Understand? He's like, your life's already fucked.
Maybe, but my cases
Yeah.
aren't. I love that. He's like the classic cop that like is all he has is his job.
He
Like
reminds
he
me of like the Spawn universe is like Harvey Bullock, dude. Like that's
that yeah. I'm glad you mentioned it because I wanted to mention that too. He is sort of like Harvey Bullock. Like uh he's in the vein of like Columbo, like these like schlubby looking cops that like at a first glance appear to like be slobs, like maybe they're not very organized, but that's the complete opposite. They almost use that as a tactic to like have people underestimate them, Sam here may look like a fucking fat slob, but he's very far from that.
I love this too. He's like going to the barber and he's getting like this old school shave with the
Yeah,
fucking razor. And who comes up, dude? Somebody comes up. We see like with the bell ring, the barber like kind of looks over to the side and like we see the dude come and shave and cut him, and it's fucking Twitch. So dope, dude.
and I've always loved their dynamic like this sort of odd couple, you know what I mean? Like Sam is the big messy burly one and Twitch is like smaller, always neat. And if I remember the backstory, Twitch is also like a Ivy League like educated person too.
No, this is a great dynamic. It is very much an odd couple dynamic for sure. I mean,
Yeah,
just like visually, personality wise, they seem that
yeah.
way. They get called into the chief's office and they're fucking Sam's getting reamed, dude.
You got your classic like gruff captain yelling at our two cops. I mean,
I love that
I
trope.
me too. I was gonna say I'm a big fan of like crime fiction and detective shows and movies. Like, and I mean I know it's a trope like you just said, but I love it. And
Yeah.
every time it's come up in like Lethal Weapon or the Bad
I
Boy
was just gonna
movies or
say I was just gonna say a lethal
like
weapon. Yeah.
I know the Bad Boy movies aren't great, but I love like Joey Pants as like the fucking like captain always yelling at them.
Yeah.
It's become a character that I really enjoy seeing. Like
Same.
Michael Keaton and the other guys is another good
I
example.
was gonna say that one too. Michael Keaton in the other guys, and he works in Bed Bath and Beyond.
Yeah, what a great yeah.
Oh my God, dude. So funny. Basically, he fucking Sam's like, get the fuck out. You're suspended for a month. And then Twitch thinks he's gonna get out unscathed. Nope. He's your partner. You keep covering for him. So you're gone too. I love this too, the way that he's looking into and you can see his reflection in the
Yeah,
diploma.
yeah, lots of reflections being used in this. I mean, like that's got to be like some kind of like thematic thing that the artist likes, or I mean, because it's coming up pretty often, the use
Yeah.
of reflections,
And
and you
then
don't see that often in comics. Like
you don't,
it's a
yeah.
thing that a lot of artists don't think about doing. And again, like you mentioned from the very beginning, how much like a movie this felt, and those are all like cinema techniques, and I love it when comics pull from other artistic disciplines, man. Comics are kind of like a combination of everything to me. So I love seeing when they do stuff like that.
And I love, Sam's just like disheveled look in his
Yeah,
corner. Like you can just see what a mess his life is. And, he's like, did
yeah,
you settle him down? Nope. In fact, he suspended me too. Fuck him. Fuck all of them. He says,
yeah.
he's like, let's pack up and grab a beer. And then we get these close-ups. I don't know. I really dig these close-ups where, you see their faces and you get
Hmm.
so much of their emotion, especially like the emotion you see in the eyes that
Yeah.
Kudranski does. Like it's fucking really good, dude.
He's such a great artist, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think he has another book out at Image, a creator-owned book. I can't remember the name. fucking now I really want to go and check it out. I didn't realize that he was doing it until I was looking at the solicitation for this and it called out to that specific title. So I'll definitely want probably check that out soon. But I love what he's doing on this book. It's fantastic. It really feels like I'm watching like a crime movie, crime show, noir. I think
Yeah.
it's a genre that I really love. I'm glad that we get two of my favorite cop characters in comics are back in their own series.
And like you said, I mean, no mention of Spawn. Like we obviously have a case that is gonna take over them, even though they're being suspended.
Yeah.
And it may or may not tie back to Spawn, but I'm totally okay if it doesn't, at least right away. I mean, I'm
Same.
down for just Sam and Twitch, doing different cases.
I love how this page right before we get towards the end, it's like a puzzle piece breaking.
Yes,
And then
again,
we
subtle.
just see this fucking like what are
Dude,
we
this is an
looking at?
amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
this reminds me of like Sienkiewicz, of like Marty Simmons, like
Yep. I was gonna say Martin Simmons for sure, yeah.
yeah,
But
like
you just see all these
amazing, dude.
puzzle pieces and then the pieces that have fallen out and it's just like dead body parts.
And yeah, the choice of putting the severed parts on the puzzle pieces that are not in our locked. I mean, great sense of design, a great use of a splash image, a great use of a page turn, which is something
Yes.
I've been paying more attention to in comics, is the
Same.
importance of the page turn. And this is one of the great examples of how you make that work. You go from, like you said, the little subtlety of the puzzle piece, you turn the page and bam, you're hit with this fucking gory scene.
Oh my God, I know. What a way to end it.
Yeah.
And who's he talking to? Yeah, so I guess this cop is just like
He's
I don't
calling
know.
he's calling Twitch. Yeah, he's I think one of
Yeah.
Twitch's old
Yeah.
like academy buddies.
Yeah, and just like if you got a minute, give me a call. I'd like to run something by you. And it's just
Yeah.
this fucking horrific
Yeah.
fucking massacre of like people cut in
Yeah.
half, heads gone, arms gone, legs
Yeah.
gone, blood
This is
everywhere.
yeah. It reminds
Just
me of like Seven. I mentioned Fincher earlier.
yes,
Like,
yes. And that's one of my favorite movies all the time. Dude. I love
oh,
Seven.
dude, I love Seven. I mean, I rewatch it all the time because I think it's a great example of how to like tell a good story.
Yeah.
Like very very well paced. And I mean, this comic is obviously pulling from a lot of like noir also.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, I am. I mean, I was excited about it, but I didn't know I was gonna love it this much. And
Same.
I mean, I'm super super stoked on this book.
And dude, you can't go wrong with 2.99 price tag too. I mean, obviously, I
Yeah,
think
dude.
these are a little bit smaller comics. I think they're 20 pages, but I mean, I love a fast, breezy read, dude. And that's what this is.
Yeah,
It's a fantastic entry into the Spawn universe of titles. And in my opinion, like they've been a blast to read. Like King Spawn's been great.
yep.
Gunslinger's been cool. The main Spawn is, in an interesting area right now too, after the, 350 and the new King of Hell. But again, like to have this set in that world and not even have to tie it heavily into Spawn was brilliant. And I'm here for it. I can't wait for the next issue. Hit up your shop, go pick up a copy, and make sure you like, follow, subscribe, hit that bell icon so you're notified every time a new vid drops. And on that note, we're out.